I didn't get in. Gotcha!
Hi there, my name is Lyrie Semibreve, and in this series, I will be analyzing the characters of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. In this episode in particular, the character in question is Rainbow Dash. She will be analyzed, possibly criticized, and most importantly, defended. It'll be fun. Stick around. Personality is a big part of what makes the characters from My Little Pony, the characters from My Little Pony. Who knew? The key parts of Rainbow Dash's personality are found with her loyalty, obviously, her pride or ego, her passion, and her general impulsivity. Let's talk about her role of being the element of loyalty first. She's supposed to be this overly loyal character. The thing is, she's just not. And she doesn't really show this more loyal side to herself a lot. Many people in the fandom have criticized this, saying that she doesn't deserve her element. This will be more important later on because I think there is a defense for Rainbow Dash. But for now, we'll be focusing on her personality. Speaking of which, her second core personality trait is her pride. More accurately, her ego. And even more accurately, her competitiveness. Throughout the show, she is shown to value this a lot, asking any pony, or at this point any species, for a race. While we're here, I should probably talk about kind of a somewhat important part of her character too, which is her confidence. This is often what makes her do all of this. It should also be noted that this gets her in a wide variety of troublesome situations, to say the least, throughout the show, which is, well, quite hilarious. Another key part of what makes Rainbow Dash is her passion to join the Wonderbolts, the most elite group of flyers in all of Equestria. She has shown her passion by basically fangirling about how good they are throughout the entire show. And when she is met with her leader Spitfire, she often tries to impress her. The last major thing I'm going to be focusing on her personality here is her general impulsivity. She has been shown to play pranks on the rest of the cast, whether it be friend or foe, and say things that can be regarded as hurtful criticism, to say the least. She has also been shown to be brutally honest at times when she honestly just shouldn't be. This seems like she's completely disregarding the feelings of her friends, and at times can actually be seen as just outright bullying. Well, good or bad, these are her four main character traits. Let's talk about the relationships that she has with the rest of the cast. The most obvious relationship that we should probably note here is her relationship with the rest of the main six. She cares for them a lot and at times places them above everything else. The only things that can ever seemingly get in the way are her ambitions or her ego. However, it should also be noted that this only happens for one episode at a time and is often resolved at the end of the episode, when she finally comes to her senses and realizes what's important. Speaking of her ambitions, this also brings her with this really weird relationship with the Wonderbolts. Throughout the show, she seemed to have a mixed relationship with them. In Wonderbolt Academy, she meets another pony with similar athletic abilities and flying skill. This was Lightning Dust, who Rainbow naturally was gravitated towards. I theorize she did this because of her general competitive nature and always wanting to be the best. This went well until Lightning Dust started putting other Wonderbolt's cadets in danger. This sent Rainbow Dash into a rage, and telling Lightning Dust off at the end of the episode, which I should probably know I personally really enjoyed. This proves that deep down she doesn't value her friends and teammates much more than her ego and competitiveness, even if she doesn't show it that much. But I'll talk about more on that in the next part. While we're on the subject of Lightning Dust, I should probably bring up Rainbow's really kind of cute relationship with Scootaloo, where she plays more of an older sister role model kind of role, if that makes sense. Which I personally must say is adorable. Back on topic. Like I was saying, she plays kind of more of a role model for Scootaloo here. This is relevant because she doesn't really act this way around any other character in the show. Rainbow admits many things like her fears or even weaknesses to Scootaloo, and only Scootaloo. This makes the relationship rather special, as it's one of the only times Rainbow drops her normal cocky persona. While we're on the subject of her relationships, I'd like to take up this time to bring up her really bizarre relationship with Spitfire, the Wonderbolt's captain, who I would argue is actually her polar opposite. I'll talk more about this point in Spitfire's analysis video, but for now, I'd like to make that point because I think it's a fairly unique character dynamic to Rainbow Dash. She looks up to Spitfire, but when push comes to shove, she's not afraid to voice her concerns or opinions. This will also be way more important in the next section, but for now it's just going to be another niche topic. I need to talk about her relationship with another character. This character being Gilda. Gilda is a character that Rainbow Dash has known since fillyhood. This is relevant because of how she acts at the end of Griffin Brush Off. She brushed off the Griffin. Pun intended, and I'm not sorry. She completely told off her childhood friend in her favor for her newer friends, who she is more loyal to. Speaking of which, back to the first relationship I mentioned in this entire section. She is friends with the rest of the main six. I purposely brushed over this earlier because I think it's her most important relationship that I think deserves to be mentioned last. Around the rest of the main six, Rainbow Dash puts on her normal, cocky, and egotistical persona. This is nothing out of the ordinary. What is, however, out of the ordinary is her loyalty to them, which I will talk about in the next section. Yeah, this is something that I added in post, but something that I forgot to mention was the fact that she had a competitive connection to Applejack. Sorry, I just had to quickly say that. Here we are. This is the climax of the video. This is what took us just under 1,000 words to get to. Well, let's get started, shall we? The two other chapters were mostly just build-up, and now I would like to fully defend Rainbow Dash and her right to the element of loyalty. Firstly, I'd like to point out everything I mentioned in the first chapter. I mentioned how normally her pride, passions, and ambitions, and her celestial forsaken general impulsivity, typically rule her personality. Want to know what the one thing she puts over all of that? Her loyalty to specifically the main six. In the pilot, she completely refuses the invitation to join the Shadowbolts in favor of her friends, who at the time were basically complete strangers to her. In the Sonic Rainbow, she isn't afraid to completely throw the competition just to save Rarity. It made the best pet win. Rather than letting her own ego and ambitions choose her pet, something fast, she listens to the wishes of her friends and selects Tank, the tortoise, who is normally slow and normally Rainbow Dash wouldn't really want to be involved in. In Wonderbolt Academy, she not only reports Lightning Dust to Spitfire, but also tells her off at the end of the episode, which is something that I said earlier, and again, I personally really enjoyed that scene. In Rainbow Falls, she picks being on Ponyville's team purely because her friends are there, disregarding what her fellow Pegasus may think. In Granny's Gone Wild, although with a bit of early resistance, when push comes to shove, she helps Applejack and Granny Smith reconnect. In fact, when push comes to shove, Rainbow always seems to drop everything in favor of her friends. So why bring up everything else? Her pride, her ego, her ambitions, her dream to join the Wonderbolts, or even her childhood best friend. It's because of how many things she shoves to the side in favor of her friends. And I think we can all agree, we would all love to have a friend like that. And this is also why Rainbow Dash is more than worthy of the element of loyalty. Woohoo! I'm done! I can sleep now! Yay! In all seriousness, this video took me about 4 days straight to make, so I hope it all came out well. This will be the main series on my channel. I will have the next episode out by next Thursday. Not Thursday, Tuesday. I'm sorry, I'm really tired right now. I may have to scale back when school starts, but I'll keep everyone updated. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any ideas of a character worthy of Equestrian analysis, then please do comment me or message me on Discord. Same thing as YouTube, so it's really easy to find. Anyway, I'm gonna go to sleep. Bye-bye!